Hi guys, PJ here. Today we are working on a 2018 Kia Rio and we're going to be putting a dash cam into it so that it goes on and off with the ignition system of the vehicle and hides all the cabling out of the way. Useful tools to have when you're doing this particular job are a pair of snips, long nose pliers, plastic leverage tool, probably the most important thing on the list here, electrical tape, a couple of cable ties, multimeter, or one of those test probe screwdrivers. In other words, the ones that got a bulb in the end. When you touch a circuit, they illuminate if the circuit is live, that type of thing. Now, also when you're buying your dash cam, you'll probably be able to buy a fitting kit. Now, this is a Next-based camera that's going in, so it's got a Next-based fitting kit. Basically, this includes everything you need: a replacement power cable, which terminates in an earth connection to ground to the vehicle, to chassis earth. I'll show you where to put that shortly. And a power on a bayonet there, so it can go to the power in the fuse box of the vehicle. In the kit, you will normally find three things. Like I say, your power cable here, straightforward, just replaces the one that plugs in your cigarette lighter. These terminate in a mini USB, yours may be different. A ferrite filter, which is basically to help stop radio interference. Cannot be guaranteed, but it does work to a degree. And a fuse spur, which is basically a doubling socket for a fuse in your fuse box. So we'll be using an accessory position fuse in your fuse box, nothing critical. So in other words, nothing to do with ABS, airbags or power steering or anything like that, or ECU, just an accessory fuse. Now what this does is convert one fuse socket into two. So you'll have the outside fuse here, which is a 2 or 3 amp, will run the camera. And the fuse removed from the fuse box will go here next to it, and that obviously runs the original circuit but gives you a power feed off to your camera. Really handy thing to have. If you haven't got a fitting kit and you want these, you can get them off eBay or Amazon. They're normally like £1 or £2 for a couple of them. Very, very handy. Saves messing around and chopping into anything, avoiding any warranties. So this, the ferrite filter, nice simple thing if you've got one. All it does is pop open. It's on little clips. Can't do it one-handed, never can. Tried many times and always fail. So basically you just pop it open, it's on a hinge, open it up, you run your cable through the middle of it, wrap it around the outside and then back out, like so. Nice and simple. Fuse box on the vehicle is located on a right-hand drive car here. There's a panel, then we just basically pull it. If I can get the camera down, it's a bit dark, sorry about that. There's your fuse box. Now, before we go any further, I just need to point out that by following this video guide, I am held no way liable or responsible for any injury to yourself or damage to your vehicle by following this guide. Moving on. First thing you're going to want to do is pull your rubber seal away, like so we can get to this corner easy enough, behind the plastic in the headline in here. Our camera will go to the left hand side of the rear view mirror on a right hand drive car, and it must be out of the wiper sweep area to be legal in the UK. So we'll start by feeding our cable up under the headlining. Now the headlining is made of a fibre substance, so do not go at it like a bull in a china shop. You could damage it. Be very gentle. Pull it down with your fingers like so. If you can't move it with your fingers, if it's one of them stubborn type ones, just pop your plastic leverage device under it to be able to pull it down. And we're going to tuck our cable all the way along past the mirror. Okay, so basically you can pop this off with your leverage tool. It comes to about here, and as you can see we've gone behind the airbag here. So there's your airbag, look. We've gone behind it, come up here, cross the top all the way along to the right hand side just here. So what we're going to do now is carry on feeding this down. Once down to this area, we're going to pop the end panel off. Now there's a tab here. Bear with me, it's quite a tough one. There we go. Little cutout there on the panel, look, for you to lever it out. It's on plastic clips. There we go. Put that to one side safely. And this uncovers some nice 12mm bolts that we can use for the earthing point. We're going to take that out and use that as the earthing point for the black cable. So with the 12mm bolt removed, we've there got our earth cable and a washer behind it so that it mounts nice and securely back onto the vehicle. Tighten that back up all the way. There we go, that's your earth. We're now going to get our power cable and pass it through to the fuse box area down here. There we go, there's your cable. Let's grab that. Where's it gone? Oh. There. Now, your fuse box lid has a nice list of fuses on it, as you can see right there. So does your owner's manual. Now we're looking for an accessory position fuse, something that goes on and off with the ignition and is not critical. And so we'll be testing the fuses to find out which one. Now the obvious fuses to use are cigarette lighter and power outlet. They're normally a switched ignition supply on these Kias, irrelevant of what country the Kia is being shipped to. Now with the ignition off, all we're going to do is touch the top of the fuse, like so. And that reads 0 voltage with the ignition off, which is what you want. Put the ignition on, that will read 12 volts or 11.5, 12.5, etc. That around that sort of area. So that's the fuse we're going to be using. This one here, you can use either of these two on a UK spec vehicle with the same fuse box layout. Obviously check yours, make sure it is the same layout and test the fuse. You can now go ahead with the ignition off and remove the fuse. Get your fuse spur that you got with the kit. Now these are the micro blade ones rather than mini blade. Okay, so make sure you check your vehicle first, see which you've got. Some Kias have got micro blade, some have got mini. So here's an example, there's a mini blade one. Let's turn it over, there we go. You can see the distance between the prongs. See the difference? There's a mini blade, this is a micro blade, mini blade, micro blade. You want micro blade for this particular car. Some have this one, check on which one first. Like I say, it's dead obvious because the prongs have got a much bigger gap between them. Now your fuse for your camera is going to be a 2 or a 3 amp, it's on the outside here. I'm doing additional work to this vehicle, so there's a 10 amp supply going into this, but that's nothing to do with the camera. So you will have a 2 or a 3 amp fuse here, which is normally a browny grey coloured fuse. Put your 20 amp fuse that you've pulled out of your fuse box from here into the spare slot here. Okay, and plug it back into your fuse box like so. There we go. Now you need to tidy up all your cabling, all this extra mess here. With all the cabling bundled up and cable tied or whatever you want to do with it, just tuck it behind the plastic panel here nicely, tap your plastic panel back on and push your rubber seal home. We then go to test that the camera works. Okay, so with that camera mounted, as you can see, tucked neatly up near the rear view mirror here, pop the key in and turn the ignition on. And our camera should power up if you've done it correctly. There we go. That is how you fit a dash cam in a Kia Rio. This is a 2018 model, and I thank you very much for watching. If it was helpful in any way, please give me a thumbs up. Goodbye for now.